This is an experiment we did about some of my jokes that stink. Ugh. We took 3 bits that I'm on the verge of cutting because they're just not good enough, and my co-founder, Dr. Kiar Holland, put them through ChatGPT to see if we could improve them. Let's see what happened. This is a joke I have about a super old doctor I had, and I love the premise, but the rest of it just has never worked. Let's take a look.
I have a super old doctor. He's like 1,000,000 years old. He's so old that I have to call him to remind him about appointments. Like, he diagnoses me with like ancient stuff like scurvy. I couldn't read his writing, and it's because it was like in hieroglyphics.
When Kaya put this through ChatGPT, it was sort of like a thesaurus of phrases. It spit back a lot of words. It was sort of like a bad open mic comic, but it did give me a lot of new things to think about and make some new examples, and let's see what happened.
He was like the oldest doctor I've ever seen. Like, he like remembered the Big Bang. He was like, yeah, it was a Tuesday. He like went to medical school with Hippocrates. Diagnosed Moses with athlete's foot.
So what was cool about this, it was sort of like when I workshop material with my comedian buddies when we give each other punchlines. ChatGPT just gave a different point of view and gave me stuff to work with. Moses and athlete's foot, Hippocrates, the thing about the Big Bang, I added the little part about it was a Tuesday. So it was a nice little way of being inspired and then making it my own. So this next bit I wrote pretty early in my comedy career, and honestly I used to do better, but lately I just found that it's a bit stale, and I think it just lacks more setup and context.
Physically, I feel over the hill, but at the same time, I was never on the hill. So I guess I must have tunneled through the hill.
The problem with this one is it's just wordplay. You don't learn anything about me. So what was nice about GPT in this case is it gave me a little more to think about in order to really set up more of the premise for myself.
Anyone else like get injured just like using their phone? Has anyone pulled a muscle on Instagram? I go to get physical therapy. They were like, what causes? I'm like, Reels? I got injured so much, my friend was like, you know, you're getting over the hill. Which I didn't agree with because I was never on the hill. You know, like if you're over the hill, it means at one point in your life you peaked. Like the only time I peaked was when I came out of the womb. Like, I feel like I'm not over the hill. I'm like at the bottom of the canyon.
So for the first time trying that new stuff, I feel good about it. The premise was solid. It helps lead into the wordplay. The wordplay was expanded a little bit with some of those new angles, and overall it's a lot more improved. So this last one is another example of an older joke that has been working fine, but it's just missing some stuff. I'm super harmless looking, which is a bummer, you know. You realize how harmless looking I was? So I went to this beer garden last week, and they had this sign that said, "We search all bags." And I had a backpack, I went up to the bouncer, and he was like, "You don't have anything in there." Which is messed up, because I did have stuff in there, my chessboard and my chess clock. So with this one, it's a weak premise and a setup, but no real punchline. So let's see what we came back with. I realize I'm very harmless looking, right? Like, that's why I don't act. Like, that's why I just do comedy. Like, if I was an actor, I would get, like, the lamest roles. You know, I'd be, like, an extra in a Hallmark movie. I'd be a guy with, like, one line that says, like, the love of your life went that way. I didn't realize how harmless looking I was till I was in New York once, and I went to this beer garden, and they had this sign, "We search all bags." So I took off my backpack, and the bouncer was like, "You don't have anything in there." But what's messed up is I did have stuff in there, my chessboard and my chess clock. I'm very deadly with pawns. So you'll see this was a really interesting tool. It basically was like a thesaurus on crack, and I was able to use it to inspire myself to rewrite these jokes and improve them. I am very worried about plagiarism with these tools as they get better and better. I think right now it really is just a brainstorming device. There's a lot of ethical issues that we'll talk about as we keep going, but I hope you enjoyed this, and it's an exciting time to be doing creative stuff, hopefully.
Definitely.